husband?
Don't let her get away. Are you sure you're feeling all right, Miss Walker?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, fine. Now, come on, kids. Get out there. You've got a show to do. Get going. You're on.
Is she badly hurt?
No, she just fainted. The bullet missed her completely. Come on, kids. Give them a good show and dance like the very devil. What do you want to do?
The bullet probably blew her down.
Jenny, are you all right?
Yes, dear.
The woman in the box. Did you see her?
I didn't see her. I didn't see anybody.
She can't answer questions now. Clear the room, please.
That's my music.
Take it easy now, Miss Walker.
Her understudy will go on. Go get her, Julia.
Understudy my hat. I'm going on myself.
You can't go back up there tonight.
If you dance again this evening, I won't be responsible.
Okay, Doc. This is on my own hook. Oh, Julia, get Gus over here, quick.
All right.
All right, let's get on.
My, she shouldn't do it.
Hello, Gus. This is Julia Westcott. Hello? Ginny wants you to come over to the theater right away. Oh, something terrible happened tonight. Well, there was a strange woman in black in the stage box, and...
Just a moment. Slow down, chums.
I'm Gus Crane, and this is my son. We're Miss Walker's press agents.
And if you ask me, she won't be needing any press agents after tonight.
Nobody asked you.
She's right over there.
Come on, Junior.
A whole theater full of people who saw it happen, and we haven't even got a description to go on. Are you sure you don't know who she was?
I've told you in the excitement and all, I didn't even see
But you
her.
can make a pretty good... Just a moment, Miss Walker.
Just a
You
minute.
can make a pretty good guess who she was.
How could I?
Well, she claims that you stole her husband. Now, that might narrow things down. Or might it?
It does. It narrows it right down to no one. I never go out with married men.
Well, maybe they didn't tell you that they were married. Now, I've heard of that. Well, I mean to say in rare cases, of course.
Come on, fellas, break it up. We got to get some pictures around here.
Don't forget that old double deadline.
Let's have one of those wonderful Irish smiles, honey.
Pardon me, miss. I'm from the DA's office. I must have some information immediately.
Please, one at a time,
All right.
please.
Boys, have a heart. Miss Walker's on the verge of collapse.
Come on, Jenny.
How about the press?
Got all the pictures you want, boys?
No, I'd like to have
You
one.
just have to wait until later.
I know, but we've got to have news and pictures. That's the way the show.
Who are you?
I don't know what this world's coming to. Crazy women running around with guns and shooting at innocent girls.
But she didn't really hit me, Gus, so relax.
You can depend on Father and me to do everything in our power to hush this up.
Hush it up. Are you kidding?
There's probably more reporters.
Ignore them, Dad.
Ignore them. Dear Junior, you're a press agent, remember? Pictures in the papers, headlines, gossip columns, all of that stuff.
They can wait.
Maybe it's the police.
Well, they better be hunting that pistol-packing mama instead of bothering you.
Oh, they'll never find her anyway.
Well, you can't be too sure about that.
Of course I'm sure. She laid her plans too cleverly. Darling, you sound as if you know her. Certainly I know her.
You know who she was?
Naturally. She's a friend of mine. You just don't go around taking pot shots at strangers.
You better get a hold of that doctor. She's delirious.
But if she wants to kill you, how about her husband?
She hasn't got a husband.
She hasn't got...
Then what? Say, what is this?
Look, she didn't really shoot at me because I was stealing her husband, which she hasn't got anyway.
Then why did she shoot at you, if I'm not being too curious?
Because I asked her to.
You asked her to?
Would you like to know where she is at this very minute?
Yes.
Right here.
Here, in this room?
And this is the gun I used.
Oh, would you mind explaining?
It's a frame-up, a plant, a phony, a hoax.
What?
Julia's a crack shot. She did it for me as a favor.
The risk.
What risk? I hardly ever miss.
Oh, hardly ever.
Oh, she can shoot that cigar right out of your mouth. Go on, show him, Julia.
Well, now, hold on a minute. Not this cigar. This is a 50-center.
I better go and calm down the lads. Thanks, Julia. Maybe you'd better. Well, what do you think of it, Gus?
I like it. It's terrific. Colossal. Why, that's the kind of a publicity stunt that gave me my start.
Then why did I have to get out and do it myself? Why didn't your office do it for me?
Well, Junior doesn't approve of these methods.
That kind of cheap sensationalism is not good publicity.
And show business is no place for stuffed shirts. His idea of publicity is getting my picture on the society page, drinking tea with the Grand Duchess, with my legs under the table.
You didn't want them on the table, did you?
And why not? They're my bread and butter.
If you want cheap publicity, why didn't you go out and strangle your grandmother?
Does it have to be my grandmother?
Somebody might even think we had something to do with this.
Now, wouldn't that be terrible? A press agent mixed up in a publicity stunt.
Now, children.
Listen, you, this took weeks for us to plan, and we pulled it off without a hitch. Good gravy, can't you even give me credit for that?
Credit? You want credit for sending the entire police force out on a wild goose chase? It just so happens they have more important things to do.
Golly, I never thought of that.
Apparently, there are a lot of things you haven't thought of, Ginny. Dad, I think this is something we can't afford to be mixed up in. As a matter of fact, I doubt if we can afford to keep Ginny as a client any longer.
Now, how do you like that?
Now, Junior, just 1 minute. Ginny's been a client of mine since she first started out in show business.
If you don't mind my being painfully frank with an old client, it just doesn't happen to appeal to me. Now, if you'll excuse me, good night, Dad. Good night, Ginny.
Now, Junior.
See you at the office in the morning, Dad.
No, not that, Jenny.
Of all the conceited, smug know-it-alls.
Yep, the day he got out of Harvard, he knew more about my business than I'd learned in 30 years.
But you're the boss.
And since he was released from the Army, he's worse. You know, he was a second lieutenant.
No chance of his going back in the Army, I suppose.
With his tibia?
His what?
His,
Oh,
his
never mind.
well,
I
it's just-
shouldn't have been. No,
it's
I
quite
really
all
don't
right.
want to know. All I can say is someone ought to bat his ears down.
Well, I'm getting too old to fight with him.
Well, I'm not. Oh, I only wish I were in your boots. I'd show him a thing or two.
I wish you were, too. How about me stepping out of them so you can step in?
You think I wouldn't?
By golly, I believe you would.
Good morning, Miss Greer.
Good morning, Mr. Crane.
How are you this lovely morning? Well, hello there. What brings you here?
Miss Walker sent for us.
Miss Walker.
That's right.
Call us up.
Do they mean Miss Virginia Walker? Say, what goes on here?
Miss Walker goes on here, in your office.
In my office? Well, we'll see about that. Well, good morning, Miss Walker. What a delightful surprise.
Good morning, Junior.
Why, I trust I'm not intruding.
Oh, not at all. I'll be with you in a moment.
Oh, at your convenience.
While you're waiting, you might read this letter. It will explain my presence here.
Oh, so that's why Dad didn't say goodbye. Just left a note. He didn't dare to meet me face to face to deliver this stab in the back.
What do you mean, stab in the back?
What do you call it when he lets you come in and take charge of the business? This gives you authority over me.
You may not care for my ideas, Junior, but it just so happens that your father likes them. It was sensational ideas that built up this business in the first place. Remember?
All right. If Dad has more confidence in your ideas than he has in mine, you can go right ahead and try them out.
Where do you think you're going?
Oh, never let it be said that I was the one to stand in the way of true promotional genius.
I suppose you'll be very disappointed if I don't wreck your whole business.
Might be amusing to watch you do it.
Besides, you might learn something. Stick around.
Thank you. Your invitation is so graciously put, I hardly see how I can refuse. In fact, I hereby accept. You know, I can't wait to see you in action. When do you start?
I've already started.
Oh.
On your books.
Oh, of course. How silly of me. What about those 3 clients outside? May I ask why you sent for them, or am I being too inquisitive?
According to these, they owe us a considerable sum of money.
Yes, I know that, but they haven't any, so we can't possibly collect any.
Oh, no. Miss Greer, send in those 3 people, please. And while we're on the subject of delinquent accounts, what about Chloe Carter and Starless Night here?
Miss Carter's account has already been canceled.
It has? By whom?
By me.
Oh, I see. Something personal, no doubt.
That's right.
Okay, I won't ask any more questions.
Miss Walker, may I present Madame Angustini, former premier danseuse and present ballet mistress.
Miss Walker?
Silas Hawkins, proprietor of the biggest little show on earth.
Happy to know you, I'm sure.
And Mr. Martinelli, restaurateur.
Great pleasure, Miss Walker.
How do you do? I called you in to find out why Crane and Son have failed you.
Crane is... What do you mean we failed them?
Why, that's quite obvious. If you'd done a good job for them, they'd be working and be able to pay you.
Oh, look, Ginny, Dad and I have done everything possible for these people. What can anyone do with a little dinky one-ring circus
I resent that.
in competition with the big 3-ring circuses? And as for Mr. Martinelli's restaurant, well, there's 100 in New York just as good.
I resent that bitterly.
And if you can tell me how anyone can sell an old-fashioned ballet nowadays... I'll-
Old-fashioned, my dear young man.
I admit that separately they were hard to put over. But I thought maybe they could be combined.
Combined? Are you crazy?
Why not combined? A ballet, circus, restaurant, put them all together, and in one tent.
Oh, brilliant. Very brilliant. And where are you going to put the tent? In the middle of Times Square?
That's right, we could.
Oh, I give up.
Why, of course. Right on the roof of this building. It's big enough to hold Hawkins' tent, and it's just the place for a nightclub.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose the customers will dance to the Calliope.
No. But I bet we could get Woody Herman to play there after the theater. That would make the setup perfect. Oh, I can see it now. Circus in the sky. Well, it looks as though the idea is going to catch on, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know. New Yorkers will go any place for a first night.
Oh, you're just jealous. Come on, Julia. Let's ignore him. Jenny, it's wonderful. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Julia.
Jenny, I've got to hand it to you. It's really a knockout.
Of course, not as brilliantly done as though a man had organized it. Flowers?
Oh, yes. Violets would be nice, I think, and gardenias. Thank you. What do you figure we're going to make out of this?
Me? What do you mean? Why, we're going to collect those accounts I was so concerned about.
Oh, yes, of course we are. But if Dad and I had put together a thing like this, we'd have had a nice cut.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Well, don't let it worry you. You see, I did. Crane and Son have 10% of the take. And from the looks of the thing, it's going to be quite a tidy sum. Thank you.
Good evening, Miss Walker. Mr. Crane, this way, please.
Now, if you ladies will excuse me, I'll go buy some drinks for the gentlemen of the press. Another little item that you overlooked.
Well, how do you like that?
Thank you very much, sir.
That's quite all right.
Pardon me, Miss Walker. My name is Randall. I'm a freelance photographer. Mind if I take your picture?
No, of course not.
Thank you very much. You know, I took pictures of you backstage the night of the shooting.
Really?
Pardon me.
Sure.
I've been wanting to talk to you about it for some time. The police don't seem to be getting anywhere with the case, do they?
No, they don't.
You know, I've been doing a little investigating on it myself.
How interesting.
Mind if I sit down?
No, not at all.
Thank you.
Miss Westcott, Mr.
Randall.
How do you do?
Well, this is the way I figure it out. The exit door was open, but it would have been possible for that woman, whoever she was, to have run out the alleyway without being seen.
How clever of you.
Those two men from the box were too close behind her.
They were?
So it occurred to me that she might have slipped through the door going backstage.
Backstage? Well, why would she go there?
Because it was the last place anyone would look for her.
There's a new rendezvous where the booze move together and the soul is so high. while your ghoulish rounds go tumbling by. You get the thrill you're after, life's a carnival of laughter and the circus in the sky.
Why should the woman who shot at Ginny go backstage? She'd have been recognized.
Oh, I don't know. She was heavily veiled in the box, and maybe she belonged backstage.
What are you driving at?
You two girls are pretty close friends, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Why?
Well, that sort of helps put the puzzle together.
I'm afraid you're not holding my interest, Mr. Randall.
I'm not. Oh, I thought sure I was.
Well, Mr. Randall, thanks ever so much for your flattering interest in my shooting.
Ah, but you weren't shot, Miss Walker, remember?
That's right. I wasn't. Well, anyway, it was nice of you.
And the very next day, I heard that you'd been taken into the firm of Crane & Son, press agents. Now, that was a coincidence, wasn't it, Miss Walker?
Yes, wasn't it? But I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about.
It's very simple. I think the whole thing was a publicity gag.
You have an atom of proof.
Sometimes the district attorney's office can be interested in finding proof when enough circumstantial evidence is pointed out to them.
Surely you wouldn't take a silly theory like yours to the district attorney.
For $500, I wouldn't. Think it over, Miss Walker. I've got plenty of time. Hiya, Crane.
Mr. Randall is just leaving.
Oh, yes. I'll see you later.
Oh, wait a minute. Don't rush off. Say, what gives here?
Mr. Randall hopes that Ginny gives $500.
What?
Oh, he's got a silly idea that shooting at the theater was a publicity stunt. And he's threatening to go to the district attorney unless $500.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess Mr. Randall and I should have a little talk.
You're not going to settle with him.
In full.
Oh, if I were only a man.
Well, if you were, I'd let you handle the whole thing. Come on, Randall, we'll talk in the office.
Goodbye, girls. I've enjoyed our little talk.
All settled.
Now I suppose you're happy. You have something to tell your father. I cost the office $500. Well, don't gloat. I'll pay it out of my own pocket.
Mr. Crane, pardon me. What would you like to do with a gentleman on the office floor?
Oh, is he coming around?
Just beginning to.
Well, ask him if he has anything more to discuss with me, and if he hasn't, show him out.
Yes, Mr. Crane.
If I know Randall, you won't have any more trouble with him.
Why, Junior, I didn't know you had it in you. Junior, guess what I found? You're just full of surprises. You must pack an awful wallop, John.
Might be a very good thing for you to remember. This fellow's really good. Can't get publicity for a wire walker?
I don't see why not. I think he'd be a lovely client. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to sign him up right now, if I can. The wire walker.
I suppose you promised him a lot of front-page publicity.
Of course.
Ginny, if you make that promise good, I will shine your shoes in Times Square at high noon.
gentlemen, this is Wendell Niles speaking. We're now at the Royal Gorge in Colorado, which the great Gustafson will cross on a cable nearly 900 feet long. Thousands of people have gathered here this afternoon to witness the expected sensation. As I'm talking, I'm gazing down into a rocky crevice which represents a sheer drop of over 1,000 feet. The great Gustafson is just arriving. By the way, there's quite a reason for this. That main cable is hanging down there at the main Mr. Gustafson, will you say a word?
Hello.
Thank you very much. Now that we've had a word from Mr. Gustafson, he will attempt to cross the gorge. In the meantime, I'd like to introduce to you a brilliant Broadway dancing star, Miss Virginia Walker, who conceived this idea and who flew out here last night after her show so that she could witness it. Miss Walker.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say that I think this is going to be a great thrill, and I wish all of you could be here to see it with me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Walker. Now, Miss Walker and her companions are going around to the starting point of the great Gustafson.
Good luck, Professor Gustafson.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this great opportunity.
You're welcome to it.
I hope everything comes out all right.
Well, only one of two things can happen. I make it or I don't.
And take your coat, Olaf.
Who's she?
His wife.
His wife? I didn't know he was married. Good heavens. Suppose he's killed.
It's a little too late to think about that now, isn't it?
Well, how could I know? He never even mentioned her.
I tried to tell you all along that this stunt's too risky.
We mustn't let him do it. Oh, I didn't know it was so terribly dangerous, Mrs. Gustafson. You must stop him.
It's too late now. It would only add to his chance of falling if you worry him. Anyway, there's no changing his mind once he's made it up. I know.
Oh, Junior. I'm scared to death.
Making the front page doesn't seem quite so important now, does it?
If anything happens to him, I'll never forgive myself.
I hope for your sake that nothing happens.
He's lost his balance. He's struggling desperately to regain it. If he can't steady that wire, he's gone. Never would have believed it if I hadn't seen it myself. The great Gustafson has regained his balance, and he's now proceeding to do his most dangerous stunt. Try to visualize, ladies and gentlemen, if you can, the tense scene that's taking place out there. This man is suspended 1,000 feet in thin air over the Royal Gorge, where one slip would mean certain death. He's getting set to try a backflip through a hoop. The most sensational feat of skill and daring ever performed on a tight wire.
Pardon me, Miss Walker.
Yes?
Your secretary told me I'd find you here. I'm Dan Lindsay.
Oh, yes. How are you? Oh, this is Mr. Crane, my business associate.
Oh, everybody knows Mr. Lindsay. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. As a matter of fact, Dad got his start as a press agent with one of Mr. Lindsay's productions.
That's going way back.
I guess most of the big timers on Broadway owe their breaks to you, sir.
Well, a few. I really came to see Gus Crane, but your secretary told me you're taking his place.
Oh, well, not entirely. I'm letting Junior help me. But let's go up to the office.
Oh, you sure I'm not interrupting anything?
Oh, not a thing. No, I'm glad to get out of it.
Of course, I haven't been very active for the past few years, but you know how it is in show business. We make a lot of money and we make it fast.
But spend it just a little faster.
Yes, we do. But we have so much fun out of it, we can't complain. And to tell you the truth, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't do one thing different.
Good for you.
But what I really came to see you about was this. I've written my memoirs.
Oh, you have? May I read them?
Well, they must be fascinating.
You really think so? I had hoped they might be of some slight interest. You see, I've known every big theatrical figure for the past 50 years, and well, I can't deny it would be most helpful if somebody wished to buy my memoirs for publication.
Why, of course, Dan. Please leave them with us. I know that Dad would be offended if you let anyone else handle them.
Thank you. I can't tell you what this means to me.
Excuse me. Yes?
Mr. Calloway and Mr. Collins to see Mr. Crane and Miss Walker.
Oh, well, ask them to wait a few minutes, will you, please? Oh, don't rush off, Dan.
Yes, I must go. You've been most kind, most encouraging.
Well, I'll read this myself, and then I'll mail it on to Dad.
Yes, but not before I've read it.
Thank you again. So nice to have met you, Miss Walker.
The honor's all mine, Mr. Lindsay.
Sure. Good day again.
Goodbye, Dan. Poor as a church mouse. I'm too proud to accept any help. Half of Broadway, and he's dead, too.
Yes?
You can send Mr. Calloway and Mr. Collins in now. Have you thought of a stunt for them yet?
Hey, not quite so fast. We just signed the account yesterday.
Hello, folks.
Hello, Collins. Cab.
Walker.
How do you do?
Crane. Cab has an idea for publicizing our new plantation club. I wanted to tell you about it.
Oh, swell. Let's hear it.
Look, I'll show you. What would you think of changing our painted plantation club sign over there to an electric animated one with colored lights and little figures jitterbugging?
You see, we've got to do something pretty spectacular to attract attention.
I don't know. That kind of an electrical sign is terribly expensive.
And not very interesting. We usually try to dream up something more of a sensational nature.
Yes, indeed. Sensational is the word.
There ought to be some better way of making use of that wall. I have an idea, and if it works, it'll beat anything I ever thought of before. And I don't see why it shouldn't. It's terrific. Listen.
Here it comes.
And the jive is right. Give it. Oh, tonight's the night. Give it. Oh, read all right. Come on, old man, come on. We the cats shall help you. So read this righteous rip.
I told you it would work.
It's a swell idea. Who thought of it?
Well, if everything goes all right, which I doubt, Miss Walker.
With the side. You put it right on the lehigh, and you can really get by. Oh, my. We the cats shall help you. So reap this righteous rip. Pop, pop. Now you'll help, I'll bet you. So reap this righteous rip. We the cats shall help you. So reap this righteous rip. Pop, pop. Here's the spirit to help you. So reap this righteous rip. Pop, pop. Oh, you gotta come on like G.I. You dig a repeat from me side. Oh, you put it right on the lehigh. Then you can really get by. Oh, my. We got you help ya. So reap this righteous rip. Now you'll have my betcha. So reap this righteous rip.
Look, the crowd stopping to watch.
Yeah, it's starting to tie up the traffic, too. I've got a sneaking hunch that we're going to be arrested for disturbing the peace.
Oh, cheer up, Sunshine. It's the traffic tie-up that will get us on the front pages.
Or among the police reports.
And if they should arrest you, I have a habeas corpus right here, already made out and signed. You wouldn't be in jail 5 minutes.
We thought of everything. In the meanwhile, don't answer the phones, and we'll bar the door so the police can't get in and stop the show.
I wonder if they still use Tommy guns.
Oh, they'd scarcely be justified in going that far. And with that door barricaded, they'd have to get a search warrant to get in here. That alone would take them at least an hour.
And by that time, the show would be over. So you see, you have nothing to worry about.
Oh, no, nothing to worry about.
Chin up, Junior. I've got to get back to the theater before any trouble starts. So long.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, you gotta come on like G.I. You do the repeat with me, sigh. You put it right on the lehigh.
Lights coming off. That picture's tying up the traffic. That can't get away with this. The projector is up there. Well, come on.
Now you have a betcha. I put a little by. I'm really good to eat. Oh, boy. I'm up. This ranch is red. Ain't no doubt you've heard about Mr. Hepster's Jive Talk Dictionary.
You mean Miss Webster?
No, sirree, I mean Mr. Hepster. Yeah, that's me now. I'll admit Mr. Webster was okay. But jive talk is the lingo all the jitterbugs use today. No. What's a hepcat? A hepcat is a guy who knows all the answers, and I'll tell you why. He's a highfalutin student of the Callaway vocab. Get Hep's dictionary. What's a doghouse? A doghouse is a thing, a big bull fiddle that you slap with a swing. If my phrasing seems amazing and you're eager to get Hep to Hep's dictionary. What's the twister to the slammer? The twister is a key that opens up the slammer to my chicken fricassee. If you want to learn the lingo jive from A, B, C to Z, get Hep to Hep's dictionary. It'll tell you what's a blip. It'll tell you how to get hip. It'll tell you what's frompy too. Anything you want to know from a howdy-ho to a square up barbecue. Do you latch on? Well, latch on is a cue for you to get hep like the other cats do. You'll never be a icky if you cultivate your jive with hip hip, hip hip, hip hipster's dictionary.
Times Square looks like election night. We're going to get plenty of trouble over this.
It's my considered opinion. You have nothing to worry about. And if they should arrest you, don't forget, I've got the habeas corpus to get you out.
Everybody's jitterbugging.
In my opinion, it's contagious.
Well, the show's about over.
Perhaps then we better admit the police. The longer we keep them waiting, the more provoked they're apt to be. Now, Mr. Crane, please don't be upset if they seem quite...
What's going on here? I've been trying to get you on the phone for half an hour.
Jenny told us not to answer the phone.
Well, why didn't you open the door?
Jenny told us not to open the door.
Oh, of all the dumb things.
Miss Walker has everything all worked out, and I'm sure Miss Walker knows just what she's doing. By the way, where is Miss Walker?
Miss Walker is in jail.
Jail?
Oh, but that's marvelous.
The police came, but they couldn't get in. And they saw her name on the door. So just as we were leaving the theater, they arrested her. And you've got to get her out right away.
I can't.
Oh, you can't? Why?
This habeas corpus is in your name, and I can't get one from Miss Walker till morning.
So the mastermind spends the night in jail. Well, isn't the little mastermind sprung at last? How was it, pal?
Out of my way. I'm late now.
But your stunt for Cab Calloway was such a big success. I thought
Listen, I haven't slept all night, and I've been all morning trying to get out of that place, and it's matinee day.
Places, everybody. Opening number.
Oh, heavens. And if you ever mention last night to me again, I'll murder you.
Yes, Miss Warren.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Mr. Crane.
You mind if I take a peek?
Certainly not. Penny Arcade number's just going on.
Thanks.
This night of fun?
No, never.
The laughs we had, the games that we won?
No, never. This little tin type we're taking in future years
will be the grandest possession of all my souvenirs. Will you ever forget this penny arcade?
Oh, never. The little vows and promises we made, no, never.
The thrill of this occasion will cling to me forever. Will we ever forget it? No, never. Will you ever forget this grand event?
No, never. The fun we had, how fast our pennies win.
No, never.
Ah, Junior, my boy.
Mr. Lindsay.
Miss Walker asked me to drop in this afternoon.
Oh, she did. I didn't know. She seldom goes to the office on matinee day.
That's all right, my boy. Nothing pleases me as much as an excuse to come backstage. You know, it's amazing how little the theater changes through all the years. The same gay bustle, same air of excitement, and even smells the same.
I've heard Dad say the same thing.
It's odd how pleasant memories should have a musty odor, huh?
The way you blushed when she told us we would wear.
No, never. this occasion will cling to me forever.
Will we ever forget it? No, never.
The thing I wanted to talk to you about is this. A new client of ours is opening a club called the Gay 90s, and we wanted you to help us put it over.
Well, anything I can do, of course. Very kind of you to think of me.
I suppose this is the deal with that Mr. Maroney that you've been so mysterious about.
That's right. This time, I'm going to show you that I can handle the whole thing myself.
Yeah, so I see.
You see, my idea was to call it Dan Lindsay's Gay 90s Club and have you act as a sort of official host and MC. If you're interested, the owners are prepared to pay you $250 a week, straight salary.
250 a week?
Oh, I know it isn't very much, but if you're interested enough to consider it.
Consider it? Oh, sounds too good to be true.
Oh, good. Then it's a deal.
It is indeed. I don't know how to thank you now.
Ah, hello, Dan. How are you? Ginny told me you'd be here.
Say, don't you ever change at all?
What do you mean, change? I take a bath every... Oh, I know what you mean, yeah. Say, congratulations on opening your new place.
It's not exactly my place, Bill.
Oh, don't be so modest, Mr. Lindsay. We think it's a marvelous idea. Don't we, Junior?
Yes, certainly we do.
Oh, by the way, Bill, I wonder if you would like to be a guest of honor at Mr. Lindsay's opening night.
Oh, I certainly would. Dan gave me my first break.
You know what? I bet a lot of Dan's other old friends would like to help him put his place over.
I know there would. There isn't a ham on Broadway that doesn't appreciate what he's done for them.
Now, wait a minute. I don't want anyone to feel they're under an obligation to me.
Oh, they don't feel that way. Excuse me, I gotta go on now. Do you want to watch the act from the wings? There's too many exits here.
Please try to come to the office Monday morning, Mr. Lindsay.
I'll be there.
All right. Goodbye.
Jenny, I take it all back. You're wonderful.
Why, Mr. Crane.
Oh, Lord knows I've been mad enough at times to throttle you, but, well, you're clever, you're sweet, you're kind. And I wish I'd been a lot nicer to you.
You're a mighty nice person yourself, Junior.
Last call, Miss Walker.
Oh, good heavens, I'm not even in costume yet. Out you go. I'll see you later. And all is forgiven.
Little pinball win. Little pinball hit the lucky number, put the lights on. Gotta win the prize I got my eyes on now. Glide, little pinball slide. Little pinball, roll right down the alley in the groove. Oh, don't you dilly-dally, 'cause I need you so. Hit that button on the nose. I need another 700. This is my last chance. Here she goes. Spin, little pinball win. Little pinball, hit the lucky number, put the lights on. Gotta win the prize, I got my eyes on now.
Oh, they really liked you today, lady. Come on, step on it. We'll go out and celebrate our peace pact.
Your father will be astonished when he gets back and finds us such good friends.
Yes, I guess he will. He's going to wish he thought of that nightclub for Dan, too.
And wait till he finds out I got a piece of said club for Crane and Son.
You have? Well, good girl. I'm surprised that you could talk that bandit Maroney into it.
Oh, it's not hard to talk a nightclub owner into getting $1 million worth of talent and publicity practically for free.
For free? Well, how do you mean?
Why, the Broadway big shots that will appear because they're old friends of Dan's, naturally. The Gay Nineties will have the most elaborate, star-studded opening any club ever had. And all Maroney will be out will be the $500 we've given Dan.
Wait a minute. You're not using Dan as a come-on for free talent, are you?
Why not? Once he's called on all his pals, he won't be worth a nickel to Maroney.
That's the most contemptible trick I've ever heard of, building up Dan's hopes.
But the club will remind everyone he's still around. Maybe something swell will come of it.
Yeah, maybe a broken heart for Dan will come of it.
Honestly, Junior, I don't get you. You kept telling me I had no real business sense. And now I've lined up a nice, profitable deal and, well, I just don't understand your point of view, that's all.
No, and I'm afraid you never will.
Glad to see you. Where's your wife? Huh?
Great opening, Mr. Lindsay.
Thank you, Maroney. All my old crowd seem to be here.
I see they are.
Oh, how nice to see you.
I've been up since 6 this morning getting ready for this. I need a drink.
I never saw such a crowd.
You'll clean up.
Well, you should, with the guest stars that Dan's lined up for you.
He's going to make another fortune out of this place.
A fortune at his salary?
No, out of the 10% his contract calls for.
10% for Mr. Lindsay?
Show's just getting started.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, another of our distinguished guests. My great good friend, Mr. W.C. Fields, will do a skit for you.
Ah, how do you do? Aren't you cold, dear? You're so scantily clad.
As a matter of fact, I am cold.
Ah, put your arm right on there. That's it. Ah, here's the compartment. Vacant.
Oh, look at the placard. This is reserved for Lord Robert R. Roberts.
This isn't reserved for him now. Here, put it right in there, dear.
But you can't do this. You're not in Yankee Land now, and this sort of thing is not tolerated here.
Oh, get in, dear.
Begging your pardon, sir, but your portmanteau is leaking.
My pimento is leaking. What are you talking about?
Your luggage.
Oh, luggage, my portmanteau. Thank you. If you hadn't have been a liquor head, you'd have never noticed it. Looks like death warmed over. Rat. Look out there. Sit down there. Get comfortable. You see my hat?
Oh, did I hurt it?
No. How could you hurt a straw hat by sitting on it? I'll have to have it reblocked.
Stuffy in here.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Ooh, the air is so intoxicating.
Intoxicating? Nothing intoxicating out there, huh? Speaking of intoxication, I vaped lotto. Here. These things are rationed, that's it. 2 or 3 smokes in one. Look out, you're going to drop them, man. I'll pick them up after you leave. Trying to set the place on fire beside... Look out! Fell right on his foot. Thought he pulled gum legs. Didn't screw his legs on right this morning, I guess. Here he goes. Look out, look out, look. The dying swan. Here You're all right now. Now you're both all right, see? Now, that's good. You made up. That's fine. Oh, don't do that. You hurt him. What are you doing that for? Oh, that's terrible. I must try that on my wife. Oh, you broke his throat. Now he's got butterflies in the throat. I've had them in the stomach, but never in the throat. That's a good way. What you gonna do now? Oh, no. Oh, wait till we got Tanya. Oh, mother of pearl. Oh. I guess I don't know my own strength.
Oh, dear.
Aren't drunks repulsive? Come, my little popinjay.
Mr. Crane, you mean to sit there and tell me that you've gone behind Miss Walker's back and changed those contracts to give Mr. Lindsay the 10% she secured for your firm?
Dan's entitled to it.
Well, I wouldn't like to be around when Ginny finds out.
I'm going to tell her this evening.
Well, in that case, if you'll excuse me, I think I'll go back to my table. I wish you luck.
Thank you.
And now another of my old friends, a famous star, even more famous today than she was yesterday, and one of the most loved women on Broadway, Miss Sophie Tucker.
Now, I'm delighted to be able to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dan just tipped me off. There's a very charming young lady among us tonight who this week is becoming a bride. I wish her success and lots of real happiness with the lucky young man by her side. I hope she won't mind and won't take offense if I give her a bit of advice. After all, I've had some experience with the matrimonial dice. 3 craps in a row. I understand that she's a very intelligent girl, enjoys a good play, a good book, enjoys a good concert, plays tennis and golf, and is also a marvelous cook. As a housekeeper, I'm told she rates AAA. Well, my dear, let me give you my thoughts, if I may. Now, when you change from Miss to Mrs., you'll remember if you're smart that you can't cook hugs and kisses, and you can't sew a button on a heart. You may make the most delicious cherry pie and apple tart, but you can't serve love in dishes, and you can't sew a button on a heart. Cleopatra and Madame du Barry never held a man with a pot and pan. My advice to you is when you marry, forget the dish on the shelf. Be a tasty dish yourself. And you just concentrate upon your love. And you'll find that's an art. Because you can't heat thrills in an oven. And you can't sew a button on a heart. And there are girls who can't boil water, wearing sables and Kalinsky. Not because they feed their men vitamins. They feed them Vitaminsky. And when you see a gal with a lot of bracelets and a coat of mink, you can bet your sweet life she didn't get them standing by a kitchen sink. And you can take care of your husband, feed him like a glutton. But I don't know of any gal who ever got an orchid or a leg of mutton. If your figure is slim and your hairdo trim, he won't mind what's on the table. He'll come home like a flash, eat yesterday's hash, if you look like Betty Grape. And you'll find him caring more for a herring than a plate of caviar, as long as it's served by a wife well curved who can kiss like Hedy Lamarr. Girls, your roast beef may be wonderful, but I'm telling you right now, there isn't any oomph in beef that comes off of a cow. And you'll find when you're a missus pushing on a baby cart that you can't cook hugs and kisses, and you can't sew a button on a heart.
Junior. Still sulking.
Good evening, Dan.
Good evening, Junior.
My, so responsive. I've just been telling Dan his club looks like a huge success.
All due to you, Miss Walker. I'll never forget the wonderful thing you've done for me.
Oh, the job. Oh, that's all right.
The job, yes, but even more important, getting me an interest in the business.
Well, after all, Dan, it's you who are bringing the stars in here.
I'm afraid I can't ever tell you how grateful I really am.
I don't understand. How did he get an interest? Have you interfered with this deal, too? All I want from you, mister, is an explanation.
Do we have to thrash it all out right here?
The thing that I can't get over is the way you've deceived me. Instead of being big enough and man enough.
Oh, now, wait a minute.
You're just jealous. Because I got front-page publicity where you couldn't. And added more clients than you ever did. And made better deals.
If making better deals endangers lives, interferes with personal rights, and breaks people's hearts, then you've made some dandies. But in my mind, there's a lot of difference between being a good publicity agent and a heel.
A heel? Why, I ought to walk right out on you here and now.
Save you the trouble.
If you think you're going to walk out...
Well, it just so happens that I have a bigger job to do and one that I like a lot better.
What, may I ask?
I had another physical today, and they're taking me back in the Army.
My, oh my, below that old Dixon line, how I'm longing to kiss you. I miss you all of the time. I kiss your picture each night, read the letters you write, for they remind me of days of long ago. Oh, Lordy, how I want to be with you when I'm alone. My thoughts go wandering home. Then I start thinking of you, dear, feeling so blue I could cry. Now I know why. My daddy used to say, the good Lord blessed us when he gave us you, 'cause you're the bestest angel divine, you wonderful mammy of mine.
All alone, eh? A girl like you? How come?
Junior walked out on me.
Walked out on you?
He said I'm a heel.
Joking, of course.
No, he meant it. And he's right.
You'll never convince me of that after all you've done for me.
I didn't do anything for you. It was Junior who fixed up the contract so you'd get the 10%. I was willing to sell you down the river just to show him how smart I was. I showed him all right.
Well, I haven't always been such a saint either. We all have something cussing in our natures, if we're any good at all.
But I'm not any good at all.
Ah, that of course you are. You had enough conscience to make you blurt out the truth when you had me thinking that you were the best friend I had in the world. You didn't have to tell me, you know.
Just being kind.
Mm-hmm.
You're just being kind.
No, I'm not. I admire you. And I can't help thinking that you would like to be my friend. And that's why you wanted the slate clean between us. Is that right?
That's right.
Fine, good.
What do you mean by letting Junior go in the Army without marrying you first?
Marrying me?
Certainly. What do you think was the main reason for wanting you in here? And why are you walking out? Why, you're as unpredictable as Junior's tibia.
Oh, Gus, Junior was right. I had the wrong slant on things, and you know it.
Jenny, I've been trying to get you and Junior together for years.
Oh, that's sweet of you, Gus. But I'm afraid Junior'll never see it that way. Besides, isn't he in love with his circus rider?
Little Chloe Carter? Why, she's a client of ours that Junior and I have been taking care of. The poor youngster had a bad spill last April. It looks like she'll never ride again.
Oh, gee, that's tough.
You don't know how tough. It took her years to teach Starless Night to dance.
Her horse dances?
Certainly. That's the greatest high school horse in America. Why, he can do most any dance you can mention.
And that gives me an idea. Soldier would like to take you out after the show tonight. How about it? Well, if you don't ask any questions, you can't expect any answers. You really have to hand it to the boys in uniform. They have courage.
Ginny, I have something very important to do. I'll be right back.
Hello, Ginny.
Junior.
See you again. I had to come. I've traveled 600 miles to get here, and I have to leave on the midnight train. But at least I'm in time for your opening night. I wrote you hundreds of letters, but it just wasn't enough.
Why, I didn't get a single one.
I never sent a single one. I wanted to tell you myself how sorry I am for the way I talked to you.
Oh, you were so right. I had it coming to me. But from now on, no more publicity stunts for me.
Dad wrote that you were a reformed character. He also told me how much you've done for little Chloe Carter.
Oh, that. I really wanted Starless Night in the show anyway. She's marvelous.
Now, don't give me any of that, oh, it was really nothing stuff. He told me that you worked for weeks and weeks to learn to write her so that Chloe could have some money. I love you for it.
Stand by, Miss Walker.
Oh, dear, I've got to go on now. I'll only be a minute, Junior.
stars and Mars, you outshine, lady, the brightest of stars. Not even Rembrandt could ever design so divine a lady divine. Revelation, breathlessly new. For beyond imagination, there's a future generation striving, thriving, planning and building a world of sensations for